Johnny Depp trial's in full swing, my man. This keeps getting better and better and better.
I mean, first off, what's up with what he's wearing to court?
This is who I've said this a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about it, and then earlier this week, just because the trial had started. That's who he is. These characters that he plays in movies, he is Captain Jack Sparrow.
No, but I just mean he looks like a Dick Tracy villain.
He keeps changing.
He keeps changing.
The first day with the slick back hair, he looked like a fucking drug dealer.
Yeah, he looked like this one's great. So this is the first one here. Let's pull up that suit, Bob. There you go. It looks like a pit boss at a casino in Vegas.
No, not Vegas.
You don't think Vegas?
In Reno.
Reno?
Yeah.
But this looks like a guy who's just like, you owe me money. You owe me money.
He's a pit bull fighter.
Yeah.
But a pit bull fighter out of Reno.
Yeah, but to Dan's credit, it looks like he's playing different characters in a movie. It almost feels like a 2-week audition for studios again of like, look, here's how great of an actor I am. Because I'm sucked into it.
It looks like a Cher concert where he just has costume change after costume change or Lady Gaga extravaganza.
But it feels like a different audition for a different role every single day, but it's still Johnny Depp. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, watching this trial, I want to hire him again and I want to see him in movies again.
I love Johnny Depp.
Same. And I love him even more after this shit.
Here's what we're finding out with all the weird celebrity shit over the past couple of months. Women are terrible. Mm-hmm. They're just terrible people. Jada Pinkett is a terrible human being. Obviously is a terrible human being. Amber Heard, terrible human being. That's what I've taken from it. Those two examples are enough for me to think that all women are crazy. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'm single, and I think women are great.
No, it depends on who it is, right? Because there's women who are just batshit crazy, and then you have.
Well, here's what I would say about this for Johnny Depp. Obviously, the accusations came out, and it came from a place whether you believe her or not. But I want to know what the proof is that they took everything away from him immediately without establishing. Like let's say it goes to trial, he is guilty. Let's just say that, right? And I don't think he is. And I'm looking at you, Johnny Depp, if you're watching, and I know you are, that I think that then you can take it away. But to have the accusation come out, and then he loses the Grindelwald stuff, Harry Potter world, love that. He loses, he's never going to play Jack Sparrow again, and they're coming out with another Pirates movie without him, the franchise that he fucking helped build from the ground up.
Right.
And they took it away before it went to trial, before any evidence was presented.
Yeah. Well, that's Hollywood, though.
I know, I'm saying that's ridiculous.
But when you read these text messages, you wonder if they'll still stick with him. One of them, because he has to read these aloud in court. So one of them was like, drank all night before I picked up Amber to fly to L.A. this past Sunday. Ugly, mate. No food for days. Powders. Half a bottle of whiskey, 1,000 Red Bull and vodkas, pills, 2 bottles of champers on a plane. The fact that he said champers, too, makes me love him even more. But then he's like, what I'd really like to do is drown her, burn her, and then fuck her dead corpse. And he said that on the stand. And you're like,
I mean, we've all texted that. I mean, am I alone here?
No, we had a conversation last week about how long it's appropriate to, like, if you were in bed with your wife and she died, what kind of time you're working with there? You know what I mean?
To have sex with her?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, how much time do you have before it's
15, 20?
I would say till she's pronounced dead. Until the coroner gets there.
So you just lock the front door.
It's like Disneyland. That she ain't dead on the property until the coroner arrives.
Yeah, I'm going to say 15, 20 before it starts to harden up, because then it's a street fight. Like, you got to get out some lube or something else. Like, it's going to.
You have to. No. You can't leave that bed.
No, you can't leave the bed.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's like base and freeze tag.
Yeah.
Or like you're playing chess, you still got your finger on the piece.
100%. That's better. Yeah, absolutely. If your hand's on the piece. We're having fun here.
We are.
If your hand's on the queen.
Man, but this.
You better knight her.
You got to knight her. But where do you go with
knight.
this? Where does the jury go with this? Because this is a defamation trial.
But here's the thing. So what is she saying that he did? Because let me just tell you this. As comedians.
Beat the shit out of her. So she wrote an op-ed piece in the Washington Post.
She didn't name him specifically, so the jury has to be convinced that it's clear that she meant him, which she's basically already admitted by the submissions that her legal team put in.
Correct.
That was That part is dumb. Just deny
Dumb.
it was about him. But they've already lost that case. So the 3 parts you need for the defamation is for the defamation to have happened, right? Mm-hmm. For it to be from this person, about this person, for it to be untrue. That's the second part. Right? And then to show losses, whatever it happens to be, whether it's just loss of personal enjoyment, which is part of it, but then also the financial losses, which are clearly demonstrable. Mm-hmm. All 3 in this case. Like, I don't even know why I don't know why people are so weird about this trial. Like, this is obviously going in one direction. She's getting fucked, right?
That's what it feels like, but it's still not over. Because he just got off the stand. Well, he just got off the stand. She's going to get up there and say some shit. And they've been playing these wild-ass videos. And then the rest of the country is just watching this for their own enjoyment. Bob, what has been your favorite part? Because you and your wife are super into this as well.
Yeah, my wife is, like, just deep into this fucking thing. The best part to me so far is how her fucking lawyers, they just keep being like, no matter what Johnny Depp says, they'll be like, did you stab her in the face? And he'd be like, no, I never did. And I'm going to take that as a yes. I think we can all agree that you said yes to that. So let's move on to the next question. Like, did you just put your whole fucking arm down her mouth and, just start punching her, like, inside? And he'd be like, no, I didn't do that. And they'd be like, well, it sounds like, that feels like an admission, so we're going to move on past that. Like, her lawyers are awful.
Awful. Mm-hmm. And it keeps going on, and they keep asking the same questions over and over again, and then they keep objecting, saying hearsay over and over and over again. And finally, Johnny just cut it off during court, and he goes, right before he finished his sentence, he was like, it's flying kites that day, and then hearsay, right? Hearsay? And, I mean,
he's got a great sense of humor, and no one says he doesn't.
Really fucking funny, by the way.
He's very funny.
And they asked him at the trial, they said, hey, Miss Heard has said that you often drink whiskey when you wake up in the morning. And his answer in court was, well, isn't happy hour anytime? And the place erupted. And it's the best trial you could hope for.
It feels like a mob boss trial in Gotham City.
Yeah.
Like,
a little bit, yeah.
And by the way, my porn name is Johnny Depp. And so I'm clearly on board for Johnny. Yeah. Here's the thing. I know people that know him, which, by the way, I'm sure people thought Ted Bundy was a cool guy, too. But people that I know that know Johnny and have in the service industry where they were in positions of like working at a restaurant or whatever, they say he's like the nicest dude in the world.
Everyone.
And they said that he went out of his way to be so kind and generous to everyone that asked him for a photo or whatever. By the way, which doesn't mean that he didn't do those things, but it's like, in a weird way, I never heard a good thing about Amber Heard. Not from the critics.
No.
Not from people that know her.
I had a buddy that dated her, and she was the exact nightmare that they're describing right now. And she ruined another relationship that he was in, and she
ruined
like that
Aquaman
for years,
and that was hard because the movie was terrible.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that because that's the way they describe her in this New York Post article as Aquaman actress. And I guess
that's hilarious.
Is that the most famous thing?
I would have reviewed
Pineapple
Amber
Express.
Oh yeah,
she played Seth's girlfriend.
Oh fuck, you're
his
right.
High school girlfriend.
God damn, I forgot about that, dude.
My review of her in Aquaman is Amber Heard is drowning somehow in Aquaman.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah. No, let's let that sit. I want you to live in that for a little bit.
Marinate.
That's the gif. Just like
my favorite part of that of the quippiness of Depp so far is, I think it was yesterday, the prosecutor was asking him questions and he was answering him in a way that the prosecutor didn't like. And he said, the prosecutor essentially accused him of wasting the court's time. And he was like, well, what about the 6 minutes when you were looking for an email a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
He's coming right back at the other attorney.
But in a
really
non-confrontational, funny way that everybody enjoys.
It's disarming for everybody except for the victim.
Yes.
Yeah. At one point, literally, he was trying to answer, he's fucking like rambly and shit because he's done all the drugs. Yeah. And
it's George Young, for Christ's sake.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were just like cutting him off in the middle of his answer. I mean, like, you know what? Yeah, you did it. We'll just say you did it. And he's like, well, I'm trying to finish my answer. And he's like, well, no one wants to be here, all right? People got shit to do. And then he was like, I need to fucking answer your question.
Yeah.
Well, he understands that court is theater.
Yeah.
When it's being presented this way as a media, it's a stunt. Mm-hmm. He's been in the game for so many years, and he's seen this happen with a ton of people in his position.
Yeah.
And he knows that, like, we as a public, I think, are on his side. And I think that he has sort of been around long enough that somebody like that, like a Keanu Reeves or a Nicolas Cage, like, listen, these people are famous for a reason. I do think it's their acting, but I think it's their likability, and people are returning to the box office, especially because he is a movie star where you have to pay to see him.
It's the fame that persists whether or not you're actually professionally successful at the time. Or
Absolutely.
Like, that's a different kind of fame.
And he's earned that for so many years. It's just, and by the way, Johnny Depp, I actually would argue that he's the most successful because he has made more bad movies than almost anybody else in his position, and we don't care.
Well, Nick Cage is close.
I mean, are we doing this now?
It's the onesie twosie. Let's go. Do you do a Nick Cage?
I do.
I didn't know that.
I always say, hi, Ross, good to be here. I don't do Johnny Depp. Do you do Johnny Depp?
Yeah. Just words, just a little bit, like powders, pills,
Johnny Depp is
pills,
he's just a slightly more eloquent version of the what's his name, the Rolling Stones guitarist.
Oh, Keith Richards.
Keith Richards.
Well, he based off Jack Sparrow. Off Keith Richards.
Right.
Yeah. Like he's a slightly more eloquent version of Keith Richards.
I don't do Jack Sparrow. Red leather.
Yeah.
It's the same guy. Even the hand movements and the bracelets.
Well, here's what my wife says.
Like he's a wizard.
He's like a magician without cards.
Yeah.
Is this your drugs?
But my wife always says, if you live long enough and you're this famous, you eventually become your character, whatever your most famous character is. Christopher Walken.
Al Pacino.
She goes to Costner now. She's like, if you look at Costner, he's living in a fucking Western. And she goes,
I agree.
He's from like Santa Barbara. And it's like, dude, he's nowhere near a fucking horse in a goddamn woods and everything else. But everything he's wearing now is like, he's in it.
No, he's a living Wrangler ad.
Yeah, and he's in it.
Well, but also when people, you start to believe your own mythology, but you think about Johnny Depp, like he never plays normal people.
No, he's not going to become a chocolatier, I wouldn't imagine.
No, but he could.
He could if he wanted to.
But I think that he lives in this like Nicolas Cage thinks of himself as an action star,
right?
Because he's stolen cars in movies and whatnot, and obviously escaped The Rock. But you think about somebody like Johnny Depp, he's living the fantasy, I feel like, of every, I'm not going to say not women, but every young boy. It's like, you get to play fucking pirates.
Edward Scissorhands.
Edwards is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing it for so long, too.
So long.
And I'll go back to, like, Brando on this because, with Brando, you eventually become your persona and all that other shit.
Absolutely.
And so with this shit and the whole trial and his outfit changes and all the shit, that's exactly what I pictured Johnny Depp to be at this stage of his life. And I'm amped to see it as if I'm amped to see like 4 different movies where every day it's a new suit. He's tying his hair back. He's kind of got the bleach blonde all the way down when he's not testifying. And you're like, man, this is awesome.
Well, he feels like the hero in his own story. Yeah. And you're like really pushing for this guy. Yeah. It feels like a mini series. It feels like Apple Plus. And it's like, we're really pulling for this guy. We're like, and honestly, don't spoil it to me. I don't know what happens at the end of the trial. I haven't binged it yet.
No, but you will.
I hope he wins.
You will. I think he will.